Alfie! Hi, could you come up here please? Good boy. Okay, tilt down a little bit. There we go. What do you think? Come join me. Okay. Hi Flosstube, welcome to my channel. I'm Jess, this is Alfie. We're back together, yay. I know you've all been missing this little scruff bucket. Where are we at? So, I don't even know. I sat down to do this. Today has been so mental. We've had internet outages, we've had a leaking sink. I don't know whether I'm coming or going. So, I'm here. We're gonna roll with it. Probably should have gotten into the right headspace before I started, but we're rolling now. I don't know what the date is. It's 23rd of July. So we are getting towards the end of Jolly July, and I wanted to come and share my stitching updates with you. It's been, I think, about 3 weeks. Yeah, I feel like I've got enough that it's worth doing one now rather than trying to eke it out to the end of the month. But you'll see why in a minute. So, couple of exciting things. Firstly, we have an Alfie. He's not fully allowed back on the sofa yet, but I've decided that this is going to be the start of him being allowed back. So he's going to come say hello at the start, and he's going to come say goodbye at the end if he's around, if he's not wandered off somewhere. But I know you guys have been missing him. I've been asked quite a lot where he is and if he's okay. So I thought we'd... He's like, nothing's changed. He's just like back to normal. You've been a good boy, huh? He was really poorly. I can't remember if I've said this. He was really poorly a month or two ago. Which was really stressful. He had to have a lot of tablets and he does not like tablets. So it's nice. I'm glad he's all better. He's been very good recently, hasn't he? He's been a good boy. Yeah, I've really missed these cuddles. Oh, such a softie. Cool. So that's one thing. What else? I wanted to reflect. So I'm coming up to 2 years of doing Flosstube, and I'm planning to do a whip braid next month because I do them on anniversaries and then the 6 months in between, so February and August normally. But also recent events have made me reflect on why I started Flosstube. So for anyone who doesn't remember or has sort of joined along the way, I originally started this because I had a big presentation at work, myself and a colleague presenting to a room full of quite senior people at a client company. And it was about work that we'd done, that I'd mostly done the doing. My colleague was more the like client management person. But like in the past, I have gone into things like that completely chill, no stress whatsoever, no prep. Like I might have flicked through the slides or I probably made the slides, but like at no point have I ever in the past been anxious or stressed or panicky about that kind of thing. But for some reason, that one really got me. It was a really hot day and I was really struggling with that in the first place. But yeah, it's the first time I'd had to do that kind of thing in a while. It's the first time I'd had to do it since realising that I'm autistic. So it was just a lot and it went really well. Like the client loved it. Like we've continued to have a good relationship with them. All of my colleagues, like the colleague I was co-presenting with and the other people who were there all said it went great. Absolutely fine. On the outside, I'm quite good at presenting calm, apparently. Inside, it was like a 2-hour-long panic attack. So I came home and was watching some Flosstube and was thinking like, I want to get back to being really chill and laid back about presentations, presenting, being in front of people that I don't know and having to talk about particularly like the technical aspects of my job. because a big part of it is we do very technical work and then you have to explain it in a way that other people can understand. So I found that really hard. I was watching Flosstube and was like, I need to figure out a way to fix this, because I can't do that again. Cannot do a 2-hour panic attack whilst trying to keep a straight face. It was pretty abysmal. And it occurred to me that doing some like presenting practice, I guess, in a zero pressure environment. I mean, I'm sat here chatting to you, chatting to my phone with my dog, like no one's there to pull a face that I said the weird thing. And if I say the weird thing, I can edit it out, which I don't do as much anymore. But anyway, sorry, waffling. Not sorry. Oh, it's gonna be one of those days. But yeah, anyway, that's why I started. I didn't want or need or expect anyone to watch. It was entirely that I needed to get more comfortable talking. And I think at the time, what I meant in my head by saying that was I wanted to get back to being like effortless and not having to prepare and just being able to wing it and be completely chill about it. And still feel like I'm coming across professionally. What I think has actually happened, which is probably the healthier outcome if I'm being completely honest, is I've just gotten a lot more comfortable with like the moments where I can't think of a word. Like I will happily now in a work meeting get halfway through a sentence and be like, can't remember what that word is. You know, the thing with the thing. Or just acknowledging that I'm in a meeting and I've gotten sidetracked by a notification that's popped up or something, and I missed the question that someone has clearly just asked me. I've just gotten a lot more chill about acknowledging that my brain doesn't always stay on task, and it doesn't always give me the words that I want. So yeah, I'm at peace with that from a Flosstube perspective, because to be honest, I don't feel like you guys judge me for it. And I'm very chill with the fact that if it does bother anyone, maybe this isn't the Flosstube channel for you. There are thousands of others that I'm sure would be for you. So hence trying not to apologise for these things. But that didn't feel like it was actually helping me with the feeling like I can just go into a presentation and be zen about it. And I had another similar, the first time in that 2 years that I've had this scale of big client meeting with, again, me and a different colleague this time presenting about some of our work. And again, a run through people. I've never met any of the people from this client. I'd been told there were, I don't know how to phrase it, but like that there were perhaps some politics between different people in the room. So I was quite nervous about like sticking my foot in it or saying the wrong thing or kicking off some drama that I didn't realise was there. But we went, and I was a little bit nervous beforehand because we had to sit there and just wait for half an hour while the previous topic ran over. But it actually went incredibly well. We got asked a whole bunch of questions, and at the end several people said to me like, oh, you coped really well, like that was a bit of a challenging meeting. And I was like, was it? I was zen. I don't know, I guess this has worked. It didn't feel like it would have, but yeah, somehow I recaptured that zen. I've done this work, I know how it, like I'm confident in what I've done, and yeah, we were able to answer any questions we had to. So yeah, happy days, hooray, it worked. If you're out there thinking, should I start a Flosstube, my biggest recommendation is find a reason to be doing it for you, not for other people or for numbers or watches, or because like that bit I do struggle with. Some videos do well and that feels great, and then other videos don't do so well and it's like, what did I do wrong? But yeah, find a reason to do it for you and not for anyone else, and then remember that that's the reason you're doing it. Even if it's documenting your work so that, like, I don't know, you can show your grandkids, like, look at all the things I stitched. I feel like that's a really great idea or a great reason to do it. But yeah, anyway, we're 10 minutes in almost, and I haven't gotten to anything stitching related. But anyway, I'm really happy. Yeah, big relief, big whew. So on a similar sort of theme, coming up to the 2-year mark, I've been having a think about how I'm doing this and what I might want to change in future, and I've decided to make a few tweaks. So I thought I'd mention the tweaks because in some cases it's useful for you to know about them in advance. So first one, we have Alfie back. He's going to come say hello at the start, and he's going to come say hello at the end, and how much of the middle he stays for depends on how pestery he is. So we'll see how that goes. A bit more of a like practical thing. So the overlays that I put up when I am showing a project, I've decided to tweak how I do them a little bit. I might change the layout when I do my whip braid because it's the kind of thing that's easiest to do all of them at once. But what I'm going to do is start showing them for a little bit, like maybe 10 seconds at the start of talking about a project, so that you can see the like what it's going to look like picture, and you can see the quick information. And then I'm going to show it again at the end of talking about it, because sometimes, as I'm going based on my experience of watching Flosstube, sometimes someone will start talking about something and I'll be engrossed in a complicated tangly bit of stitch or something where I'm doing a knot or whatever, and I won't look up and I miss their overlay or information on the screen, and then they're talking and it catches my interest, so I look up and they've done like 20 stitches, so I don't know what it's going to look like. I didn't catch who it was by or what the pattern name was. So my logic is, if you've got it at the start, you can see what it's going to look like and see any information if you want it, but also you don't have to then go back to see that information because you know it will be there again at the end. So hopefully that's helpful. It also solves the problem that I keep holding stuff on the wrong side and the overlay things over it. So for the middle bit where I'm actually showing it, I've got a bit more freedom of where I'm holding it. Before pictures, so how it looked last time you saw it, I am still planning to add these, but I've decided to start it from just after my whip braid, so that when I'm going through my whip braid and I've got everything out anyway, I can take a photo of everything and that'll be my starting point. So that is coming soon. What else? So I'm really enjoying doing my monthly themes, and I am absolutely planning to carry on doing that probably into next year as well. What I found though, doing my halfway through the year, like these are the themes for the remaining, I think 7 or 8 months, was a bit much. There were quite a few where I felt like I didn't want to waffle too much about that particular thing, but in retrospect, like I want to share more about it. I think what I'm going to do is quarterly, so I'll do like 3 months at a time. I think I'm going to start that with a video in September that talks about October, November and December, because New Designer November in particular is going great in terms of planning. I have a bunch of projects kitted up. I have, I think 46, because I've brought one of them forwards, but 46 designers on the possible new designer list. So far I think I've got 11 kitted. I've got stuff on the way for 2 more. I think we're going for every other day starts. I think that's probably where I'm going to draw the line, but I want to share all that with you. And I know some people have said that they want to start some of those projects with me, so I want to make a plan so that if people want to start on the same day, we can. So underlying point, we're going to do them every 3 months, and that way I can talk a little bit more about what each of the monthly themes is going to be and how I'm going to do it. Okay, I need a drink. I've got one more on the list, but it's going to require some explanation. I've had a drink. My water bottle leaked on me. I didn't dribble, I promise. So the last change that we're making, which I'm hoping will bring joy because it has given me a lot of giggles. So whenever I have finishes, we're no longer calling them the finishes section of the video. They're John's Jangles. I can't believe that we're actually including this. So during the past few weeks I've had 3 finishes, and I can't actually remember which of the 3 it was, But one of them, I was sat here and John was in the kitchen or something. I finished. I was like, John, look, I finished. And I held it up and showed him. And he came through from the hallway. And then he saw it and he turned around and he went away. And I was like, okay, like, you can at least say it looks nice. He came back, and I have clearly told him at some point about there being like a bell for finishes at retreats. We don't have a bell. So he went and got his keys and jangled them at me. Which absolutely cracked me up. Which meant I immediately went and messaged some of the girls about it. And for the next, I think that was about a week ago. So for the following week, every time someone has finished something, they've sent a video into the group chat of the finish and then a hand like just popping in and jangling some keys. We've had, Emma's had her little boy help, he did the jangle. But every single time I've gone and shown John, and I don't think he expected everyone to run with it quite as much as they have. So this has escalated quite a bit. There was talk of a song, like a John's Jangles, like I don't know. But yeah, so finishes are no longer finishes, they are John's Jangles. And yeah, I'll let you enjoy. Fair warning, I will try to edit this appropriately for volume purposes, but if you're wearing headphones, there might be jangles coming. So, getting into the stitching then. We are in July, which means we have been doing Jolly July. For anyone not familiar, Christmas in July, Jolly July, basically bringing some of the Christmas festive spirit a bit earlier in the year, because obviously if we leave it just until December to start stitching Christmas things, it's not a lot of the year, and we all love our Christmas stitching, don't we? Talking about this has made my eyes water. So I had 2 whips that were winter or Christmas themed that I wanted to work on. So this is the first one. Alfie, keep your nose to yourself, please. This is the first one. So this is Quaker Snowflakes by Hello from Liz Matthews. I have stitched this on, I think it's 16 count? Pretty sure it's 16 count. Mystic by Picture This Plus. And I have stitched it entirely in beads. I don't know how well I'm going to capture the sparkle on the camera. But yeah, this month I think I've added these 3 big motifs, most of this bottom section, and then a lot of the sort of smaller motifs down this way. So yeah, I'm really happy with this one. I was originally inspired to start this by Sherry from Just So Sherry. She did the same colourway but with thread rather than beads. And I think I saw that around the time that I finished my Tangled Fire project. So I was on the hunt for another fully beaded conversion, and this seemed perfect, and I absolutely love how it's come out. This fabric is probably my favourite fabric colour that I've ever stitched on. I've got another project on it on, I think it's linen, and in fact I've got another project on the offcuts of this as well, a block party. So it's definitely a favourite, and I will definitely be getting my grubby little mitts on some more of this fabric in future. So yeah, I've opted to leave the text off because Glad Tidings wasn't really my vibe. So it's not quite square with the text left off, but it's close enough that John and I were both like, that would look really nice in a square frame. So we're calling it there. This one is probably just going to go in a nice simple white frame, and we have a bit of wall in our hallway where I currently have Cabin in the Woods and my double hooped owl. I think I've decided that's going to be a bit of a seasonal wall. So the 2 of them, I'd consider them winter projects. Maybe Cabin in the Woods might move into autumn once I've done Chalet in the Snow. But yeah, this one will go in a nice simple white frame to go with it. Next up, next up we have my other existing whip. Now you may remember these. So we have the snowman. Try and bring it in close. Oh, sorry, not doing very well with which way the camera is. And the little angel. So these are from, the patterns are from Victoria Sampler, and I stitched these ones last year. I started them at the very start of Jolly July in 2025. I don't want to be negative. I had issues. I struggled with the pattern. I struggled with some of their thread choices. We had a single stitch of orange for the nose, and the pattern called for silks. I'm really glad that I didn't. I did a conversion, but I was annoyed that I'd gone to all the effort of a conversion for the sake of a single back stitch. We also had these gold beads across the top, the sort of berries here, called for an entirely different thread colour, again silk, just to attach those beads. I was not best impressed. I've also definitely found so I did this on a Weeks Dye Works linen, 28 count, and a lot of these too are done in pearl cotton, and I definitely found the softness of the fabric and the sort of springiness, I guess, of pearl cotton. I really struggled. I didn't enjoy stitching these particularly. They were stressful. So I put it off for a year, and then I finished the other two, and they each only took me like 2 to 3 days. We absolutely smashed through them. So we've got Santa, and we've got Gingy. And I actually really enjoyed it. I happened to go over we live near a Greggs outlet. For anyone not in the UK, that's going to sound really weird. Greggs is like a fast food bakery type place. They do stuff like sausage rolls, like pizza slices, donuts, brain nugget, like apple danishes, that kind of thing. It is all quite mass produced, but we are literally like 150-200 meters from a Greggs outlet, which is basically where if they've made too much of something, or they've got ones that are like a little bit damaged or offcuts, we get offcuts of their caramel shortbread quite often. They all get sold off there dirt cheap. So I happened to be going to the post office, I happened to pop in, and they happened to have gingerbread men, so I treated myself to a gingerbread man as a celebration that I'd finally picked this back up and got the gingerbread man done. There is a tiny bit left on these. I think there's 8 buttons to go across this green garland. I do have some buttons, sorry. But they're meant to be like primary colours, so like primary and secondary colours. And the ones I've got, like the blue is so dark it's almost black, and the green is likewise really dark. They're just not quite right. So I've ordered, I placed an order with 123 Stitch for the buttons and also for a pattern for November. So that's the only thing left to add, and then I will have a crack at fully finishing them into little crackers, which I'll pop the overlay up so you can see what they're going to look like. There are definitely some customizations. I'm not going to point them out because I don't think you'd spot them even if you were looking. But yeah, I'm really glad that I pushed through and picked this up and got it done. I definitely found these ones easier on Evenweave, but these ones don't have any pearl cotton. I think this one was meant to have a pearl cotton. I didn't have the right colour, and at that point I was like so close to being done, I just wanted it done, so I've just used 2 strands of DMC instead. But yeah, Evenweave definitely worked better for me than the linen. I'm glad I swapped and did these ones with Evenweave. I found them a lot more enjoyable. I did find the pattern kind of hard to interpret. I would recommend, if you're getting a Victoria Sampler pattern, like read through it all and sort of map what colours are used where, so that you can decide what you're actually going to buy and what you might substitute from stash. Because buying an entire, like, it's only £2 because I swapped them for like classic Colourworks, Gentle Arts and Weeks Dye Works threads, but like the fact I bought an entire skein of thread for a single backstitch, still, clearly I'm still not over it a year later. But I'm glad they're done. We got there. So that was finish number 2. So having finished both of my existing sort of winter themed whips, I still wanted to do another little something. And as I said, new design in November has been getting a little bit out of hand. I don't think I need an intervention yet, but we're at risk of going in that direction. But one of the things that I had on there wasn't so much a new designer, it was like a project that I wanted to do, like I'm just going to show you. I wanted to stitch a hot chocolate mug and I wanted one to be about this size, and I went looking and I found 3 different designers that had designs that fit the bill. In the end I actually found a couple of extras, but I had 3 that were like on my list. So rather than that being the designer, I just had hot chocolate mug and then had the 3 designers noted next to it. So I figured this would be a nice little start and finish to add in to Jolly July. So I've stitched this on a mystery scrap. I have a feeling that this might have come out of a kit and I substituted and stitched it on something else. But it's just a nice simple light blue. I think I counted it as 16 count. And this pattern is a small chunk from a corner of a bigger pattern from Cute Patterns by Maria. I've never done one of hers before, so hence it was on the new design in November list. But yeah, I wanted a little hot chocolate mug to go on my Christmas wall, my winter wall, because I don't really do hot drinks except for the occasional wintry hot chocolate. I used to do mulled wine, but I now don't drink alcohol, so I'm down to just the hot chocolates. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. It's I stitched it with 2 strands, which is not my go-to, but it was small enough that was fine. I was a bit worried the candy cane and the lollipop here have, like, I don't know how to describe, because it looks fine on the camera, but there's like bright orange in there. Like really bright, like the candy cane doesn't actually have any red, it's just orange, but somehow, especially on camera, you don't really notice. And now I've finished it and all the back stitches on, it's not as obvious. Like I'm looking for it now, so I'm definitely seeing it, but anyway, it's a finish. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. It was one of these where the back stitch had like each colour would have some stitching in 1 strand and some in 2 strands, so that was new to me. I don't think I've ever actually done one that's that style, but that one's going in another cute little, just probably a simple little white square frame to go on my winter wall. Being realistic, it will probably take me until winter to actually get around to fully finishing it, so there you go. So we had our 3 John's Jangle finishes. What else have I worked on? So I've got 3 other projects to show you. So my first whip that I've worked on this month is my Magpies, the 2 for Joy. This is a design by Needlelot Designs by Iris, and I started this with Rosie from Rosie X Stitches and Sarah from Sarah Stitchy Bug. A whole bunch of other people have joined us along the way. Yeah, I think what I focused on was the dark blue, so the bird on this side. There we go. So this magpie on this side I finished outlining and came down and made a little start on this one. You can see I've actually drawn some of the pattern on at the bottom here. That was for, I went to London for a day to go and see my mum's graduation. She has just finished her art degree. She did fine arts and she's graduated with a first class honours degree. So yeah, very, very proud of my mum for that achievement. I had outlined this area because I got the train part way, so I drove down and stayed overnight and then got the train into central London, and I thought I would have the opportunity to stitch. I did not. So we've outlined this ready for the next time that I need a nice easy fill-in block of stitching. And just for anyone who hasn't seen me do this before, this is a heat erasable pen, but it will be fully stitched over, so even if it does leave a little bit of a discoloration, it will be absolutely fine because it's stitched over. But I quite like this to have a what I quite often call always bring cross stitch, or an ABC project. So it just means that I can easily chuck a project in my bag and have it ready to go, with sort of needle, scissors, thread all tucked inside and ready. This one will be coming back in plans, so I will leave it until then to talk about next steps on that one. So I think I did that for like a day or two at the start because I was away and it was easy, and none of my existing Christmas projects were really all that travel friendly. So that was at the start of the month. Having finished random threads, need another drink. Try not to dribble on myself this time. So, having finished those three, I do have another possible Christmas themed project, but it involves something having to be delivered to me, so couldn't start that just yet. And instead, I figured I ought to get this beast back out. So I've been doing a bunch of looking at my whips and my whip list and how many stitches are left on them. And I think this one in particular, so this is my Beyond the Horizon. It's my oldest project. It's one of my bigger full coverage pieces. I think it's maybe my third biggest project in terms of stitch count. It's probably the biggest in terms of area covered because it's on an 18 count and all of my others are on smaller counts now. So I'm doing this as my whip go project for the year. So each call has 2 colours written on it, and there are 2 calls per month. So 4 colours get called essentially. My sort of minimum entry level goal is to do 1 colour from each call, which means by the end of the year I will have finished at least 24 colours. I'm really struggling with this one, guys. We've been doing so well. When we hit monogamous May, I did them early. I did like the last couple of days of April. I crammed in my May stitches so that it wasn't a problem for monogamous May. For June, I then completely ignored this until the last 2 days of the month and then panic stitched them. And then for July, I picked up the colours and I looked at them and I was like, I can't do it. My tablet has unfortunately just died. I was going to show you like what it looks like when you select a colour on this on Pattern Keeper. Even the colours that have a lot of stitches, they're not in blocks, it is all confetti, and I'm really struggling with the motivation to deal with that. But there's also like 60,000 stitches still to go, so I'm gonna have to tackle it if I want this finished, and it feels like I've come too far to abandon it. So what I did instead, I needed the easy win. So I skipped past the colours that I've used on Whip Go, which are like the 48 colours with the fewest remaining stitches. We skipped those. I started from the next colour on, and I basically just went down on Pattern Keeper, picking like the next colour on the list in number of stitches order until I hit one that was kind of blocky. And what we ended up with was this green that's been added all down here, this sort of darkish green. I think a lot of the problem is on a lot of full coverages. So for example on Gamer there are like distinct objects. So for example Sonic the Hedgehog is blue, so and a lot of it has like dark outlines around, like, or shadows around each object. So I can effectively outline a Sonic and then just focus on the colours inside Sonic, and most of those are only inside Sonic or inside another motif somewhere else on the page. So like there's a cream coloured flower and there's a blue sonic and there's her skin, which is admittedly a much bigger area, but it is still like 10 colours that are just, that whole block are just 10 colours. Whereas on this, because it's such a swirly pattern, and I guess you've got the rocket, fine, you've got like the earth is like a distinct thing, but a lot of the greens are quite contained in the earth, but all of the blues in the sea and stuff are also used out in the swirly bits. And again, you've got like the sun at the top and you've got the rocket, sort of the rocket trail at the bottom, that are your two sort of patches of reds and oranges. But so many of the colours in this, you select it and they're just, it's just everywhere, like just literally scattered across the entire project. And it's just really disheartening. I think especially doing it extreme cross country, you hit that like, what I probably need to do is go back and find a picture of this from the start of the year so that I can see if I can see the difference, because there have been about 6,000 or 7,000 stitches put into this so far this year, which is way more than I've done the previous year. So I have made progress, but at that rate it's going to take me another 10 years and I want it done at this point. I started it I think in 2022, so it's already 4 years old. I don't really want it to be another 10 before it's finished. So I need to figure out what to do, because I'm also not the kind of person who likes having to get out a thread to do a couple of stitches to put it away, to get out another one to do a couple of stitches to put it away. So like working in a page also doesn't really feel great for me. I think the way I did it when I did the sun, I picked a 50 stitch wide block and worked down it, but every thread I started I finished, so I was never like unthreading most of a length to put it away. Even if I'd had to get it out for a single stitch up here, I'd carry on working it down this entire column, and if I got to the bottom and I still had it, I'd go find wherever else it was in the project. So maybe I need to go back to doing that, so that yes, there will be progress scattered all over the place, but at least like I can see an area start to fill in. I don't know. Just losing the will to live a little bit. If you have any other ideas, please let me know. Let me know how I can finish this. Because I feel like what I'm doing isn't working, or it's not. It is working, it's chipping away at stitches, but it doesn't feel very motivating. And it's making it hard to keep going. But yeah, we are getting there. And like that green was 600 stitches. So like I've knocked 1% off of what was left. Slow progress, but we're getting there. I picked out a couple of other colours that have that sort of a fairly significant like blocky chunk, or like a bunch of small chunks, but they're like quite concentrated, to see if just getting some numbers, being able to say like I've done a couple of thousand stitches on this, helps me get back the motivation to do those whip go ones and cross numbers off the list completely. So that's that one. Sorry, I feel like that was a bit doom and gloom, but I help me find the motivation to finish it. My last whip then is actually a restart. So I did this as one of my 12 by 12 projects, which is why it's got such a comparatively pathetic start. This is, I think, about 180, 200 stitches, which is quite impressive considering I think I probably only had 45 minutes to an hour in which to do it. This is going to be my Ted Lasso piece. So John bought me this pattern for, I can't remember if it was my birthday, I think it was my birthday last year, and it must have been last year because I started it in December. But yeah, anyone who's not aware, I'm a bit obsessed with Ted Lasso. I have talked the girls into watching it with me, so we've been doing watch parties for the last couple of months to watch those, watch it together on Discord. We've just gotten, Monday just gone, we've started season 3, and we're hoping to time it that we can drift straight from season 3 into season 4 when some of season 4's already out, so that we can carry on doing like a couple of episodes a week rather than the very stingy one episode a week that they're planning to release on on Apple. So I started this and I am baffled that we have literally watched 2 whole seasons and it hasn't occurred to me to get this out to stitch whilst we're watching. So I got it out on Monday and immediately decided or realised I've done it in 2 strands and I don't want to do that. So I started frogging and then was like, can't be bothered to do this either, so we're just restarting on the other side. I'll come back and frog it later, but I restarted in 1 strand for the 310. So this blue then has like a 310 frame around the inside of it. I got 4 stitches in, 4.5 stitches in. No, coverage wasn't good enough. So we got my whole fabric box out and I angsted. I probably annoyed the girls quite a lot. And Darcy, I think Darcy was there for that one as well. But I eventually found some fabric that I didn't hate. This is a piece of Coffee Crafts. It's 20 count and most of the rest of the piece is green, but this particular corner conveniently was a little bit more in the blues. So we got all of the 310 done and I believe this was just shy of it was something like 296 stitches for all of the 310. And I have done the maths. If I keep up 300 stitches for each of our 2 episode watch parties, I can just about eke out a finish on this by the time we finish season 4. So this is now my new dedicated watch party project. And yeah, you'll be seeing a bunch of this over the next couple of months. It's about, I'm not stitching certain parts of it. So there's a black frame around the outside that I'm missing off. And the inside, so it's got Ted, I'll put it up so you can see it, but it's got Ted sort of in profile and the background around where it says believe is in blue. I'm not going to stitch that, I'm just going to leave the blue of the fabric. So I think the overall pattern is about just over 5,000 stitches. I think the version that I'm going to be doing is about 3,800, somewhere around there. So yeah, I'm really glad to have restarted this. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to seeing it progress as we watch the rest of season 3 and I get to watch season 4. And as a bonus, if I do feel like I'm perhaps not going to hit that goal, I will be watching season 4 twice because John and I will absolutely be watching it the day it's released, and then I'll be watching it with the girls when we get that far. So I might sneak in a few extra stitches when John and I are watching it as well. Yeah, I also have to say the artist, so this is based on art by Karen Hallion and she's then converted them to cross stitches, but she has done a whole host of these. So there's a whole series just from Ted Lasso. There's a whole series of like Disney characters and things. So there is a chance that this might end up becoming a triptych with 2 others. But I'll wait till this one's done to decide if I'm going to carry on with that. But yeah, I'm still absolutely baffled that I went 2 seasons of watch parties without clocking. That was absolutely the project I should have had out and been working on. Cool. Okay, so that is my three whips for the month. I'm going to pause here to find my notes because my tablet that had them up died. Yeah, so we've done John's Jangles. We've done whips. So next up, I'm dropping this in. I posted on Instagram this morning that I'm planning to film in the next few days and that I'm only a few subscribers away from 1,400, and I sort of tried to give a little bit. I hate doing it. I feel really weird and cringe doing it, but I did say if we hit 1,400 by the time I filmed that I'd do an early giveaway. I was going to do these in my whip parade, but I figured if I do them early I can let it run for a little bit longer and I'll draw the winner at the end of August. But to be honest, today has gone a little bit to hell in a handbasket. Our kitchen sink has leaked everywhere. Our internet has been on the fritz because they did network maintenance, and then they messaged to say we finished our network maintenance, and then we got another one to say there's network disruption in your area because basically they broke it. So doing work has been really challenging today with a sketchy internet. and I just wanted to come and film, and I wanted to do the giveaway, and I didn't really leave it long enough for anyone to see the story before I decided I was going to do this. So we're doing the giveaway anyway because I have no patience, basically. So I have not planned what I'm doing here, so give me a moment. So we are going with the pattern here is from Love Poppet. It's Whale of a Time. It's a beautiful one, and it's not that many colours. Six colours. And I've just realised, or worked out, that it would fit perfectly on this piece of fabric. Sorry for the glare there. So the first bundle is going to be this piece of 28 count, which is from Fabrics by Crafty Kate. Sorry, Alfie wiggling himself into a weird corner there. It's a linen 28 count and it's 13 by 18, so this pattern would fit on it beautifully, probably with some leftover. And I'm gonna add in this thread, which is a Cottage Garden Threads, and the beautiful needle minder heart there at the top from Cheryl at Stitching Wood Crafts. So you get the 4 goodies, you get the fabric, the pattern, the variegated thread, and the needle minder there. So for this one, our magic word is going to be blue. So use the word blue in your comment for your chance to win this. For this one, I'm going to say it's open internationally because it's all fairly small and light and flat. So you can be anywhere in the world, but please be over 18 because I will need to ask for your address. And all the usual things. Don't use words like giveaway, free, win, so that we don't attract trolls and spammers and things. So that is prize number 1. Magic word is blue. The next one is similar. So for this one, it's this piece of Coffee Crafts fabric. This one is 18 count. It's a little bit bigger. It's 18 inches by 21. And it's this gorgeous, this would be great for Halloween. I'm struggling to get it to show up very well on the camera. It just looks grey, sort of mottled grey. But it's got greens and purples and sort of dark blues in there. It's really pretty and would, like I say, would be great for a Halloween piece. When I originally picked it up, I thought it was more blue than it is, but I guess the lighting was not very helpful. The second sort of the pattern element of this bundle is going to be the stingray. So this is from UnconventionalXstitch, and I have to say a special thank you to Rachel from Talking Dog Stitchery because she did donate some of these prizes. I added a little bit extra, but yeah, the not doing well here. The kit and the frame were goodies from Rachel. Fabric, kit. The kits you can get either direct from UnconventionalXstitch or Unique Stitch, or you can get these from Rachel at Talking Dog Stitchery. As always, you can use the code JESS5 to get 5% off your order. And these, I think these are only around £9 to £10 each, depending on what size they are. So they are the perfect way to have a little try, and I think £10 is the threshold for using that 5% off code. So nice little goodie there. We have another thread. So this one's Tropic Sea, again by Cottage Garden Threads. Beautiful sort of, I am terrible with words. I don't know why I started trying to describe the colour of that, but it's really pretty. And then we have another needle minder, so you get a bundle of 4 goodies again. Needle minder again from Stitching Wood Crafts. So for this one, I know the stingray is definitely not, but we're going to say green because the fabric and the thread have both got quite a lot of green in. So for the first bundle, blue. For this one, green. For this one, just because the kit is a bit chunkier, I'm going to call this one a UK only giveaway. So green for that one. And then last bundle. So this is another goodie, as I said, from Rachel, Talking Dog Stitchery. This is a Wonderland Crafts frame. So these are designed to hold perforated paper in the middle. I have one of the bigger square ones for the buttons and beads style of Mill Hill kits, although I now just use it for my own, for perforated paper to stitch other patterns on. But yeah, So these are great. They absolutely are a game changer for stitching molehills. You don't get the hand cramp as much. You can put these in a Lowry. The Lowry clamps will hold on to these. So for this one, I'm going to do this and your choice of my medium-sized project bags. So I will pop up a picture of the couple that I have in stock at the moment. Hopefully by the end of August I will have some more for you to choose from. So they're the perfect size for these molehill frames, including the bigger ones. They just about fit in the medium-sized bags. So yeah, frame and bag. And the word for this one is going to be paper, for the perforated paper that you put inside. So we have blue, we have green, and we have paper. And again, because this one's a bit heavier and chunkier, this one's going to be UK only. Apologies to any overseas viewers. So sorry, I feel like I crept ever closer during that, but we have 3 giveaways. I'm going to leave this running for about a month, so my update at the end of August is when I will draw the names. I'm going to do Whip Parade mid-August for my anniversary, and then yeah, we'll leave it a nice while so that everyone can enter, and check back at the end of August. For winners, what I'll do, I'll obviously announce them in the video, and I will go back and respond to the comment so that you can see in 2 places that you've won. Obviously, please be careful. It'll only ever be my account that tells you you've won. Don't fall for any scams. So, recap. We've done John's Jangles, we've done whips, we've done giveaway. I have some projects that I want your advice on. I would really appreciate some help on these, and then I have a tiny bit of plans. So in preparation for New Designer November, I am trying to whip down, and in some cases that's finishing things that have been in my whip pile for a while. In other cases it's looking at a project and going, I don't have the desire to carry on stitching on that, and to really think about why that is. So I have here five projects that I am thinking of UFOing, but that I would like your opinions on, because I decided that I was UFOing them, and I went through my Notion at like 1 o'clock in the morning when I had insomnia, and I marked them all as UFOs, and then I went to get them out to like unpick them or decide what to do with the fabric, and I started second guessing myself. So the first is Chalet in the Snow. This is not a UFO because I don't like the design. This is entirely a UFO because I don't think this was perhaps the right fabric. I'll pop up the overlay so you can see what it's going to look like, but basically I'm concerned that this has got snow around it and that it's just not going to show up, and it's just going to, I don't know, the light stitching on it won't pop. My original thought, the fabric's not really picking up very well, but it's got like a really soft, almost like space vibe mottle, like a nebula vibe to it, and I thought that would be really cool, like if you're in the Back and Beyond and you can kind of see the galaxy a little bit. I thought that would be a really cool vibe, but I don't know if the fabric colour is too light. I did pick up this piece of opal Evenweave at Big Stitch from Megan at Coffee Crafts. It obviously is just it's a fairly consistent dark grey. There is some mottling in it, but it's fairly solid. But I've since got this home and realised, like, I don't really stitch much on opal, so I don't know if this is how all opal is, or whether it's this particular piece of opal, or whether it's to do with the colour that the fabric is dyed. But the sparkles seem to all look either blue or green or purple in certain lights. But I don't know if I want green sparkles on this project. I don't know. Like, I feel like a bit of a newbie when it comes to opal fabric. Let me see if I can hold it up close. Can you see? I feel like it shows up if I get exactly the right angle. But yeah, it's kind of green. I don't... Oh, there was a good little flash of it. Oh, it's when I move it back and forwards. Okay. I learned something today. Moving backwards and forwards picks up sparkle. But hopefully you can see what I mean. It's very green sparkle on grey, and my brain doesn't really understand it. So I don't know, do I carry on with this and see how it goes and just accept that I might get more stitches in and still want to UFO it? Do I restart it on this with the green sparkles? What's that? Or do I look for something else? I don't know. I think having absolutely nailed the fabric on Cabin in the Woods, I want this to be perfect, and I think I'm probably overthinking it. But yeah, please advice. Please opinions. Let me know what you think in the comments. So that is project number 1 that I'm angsting over. Project number 2, I'm really sad about this one. So this was a start for Soph for her birthday last year, and a number of people started it. It's on the same fabric as this, which I sat here and told you was one of my favourite fabrics, and I've absolutely loved working on it. On this, for some reason, I cannot. I don't know if it's the 2 strands. Every time I stitch on it, I feel like it goes wrong. I feel like it's really hard to see the holes, even though I found it really easy on that one. I just don't know. I'm tempted to restart this on a smaller count so that I can do 1 strand. I'm also tempted to do the entire bottom half where it's like the reflection in the water in tent stitch, because when I was doing some experiments for Love, my tent stitch full coverage, there was some counts where if I did like a 1 strand half stitch, I actually really liked the almost gave like a Ripley effect, like I don't know how to explain it, but I really liked the effect of it not fully covering the fabric, and I think that would look really cool for like the reflection on the water. So I perhaps should have thought of this in advance and used the fact that I've just ordered from 123stitch to order some more of this but in a smaller count so that I could do that, but I forgot. So I think this one's definitely getting UFO'd, but let me know what you think. Should I just do it on a smaller count and 1 strand and see if that helps, or yeah, let me know what you think. I'm sorry, Soph. I do still want to stitch it. I just, this is not currently bringing me joy. It's, yeah. If it's not happened by now, I don't think I'm suddenly gonna. The other thing is, this is not a small project. This is huge. There's like 8,000 stitches of it, and I don't want to slog and end up hating it by the end, because I really like the design. I just don't love it on that fabric, unfortunately. So yeah, what do you think? Smaller count or different colour, or something else? This next one I think is just a straight up UFO. I originally started this again New Year's Eve, I think it was a 12 by 12. This is Books and Plants by Puntini, and you can barely see it. But the intent here was to stitch the bookcase, and then every time I finish a book this year, I was going to add a book as per the pattern, but in the colours of the book that I've read in real life. I have not been that into books this year. I'll be real, I've listened to 3 audiobooks in the past month, but they're all ones that I've listened to before, and I just needed something easy and low effort. I'm now re-listening to Fourth Wing for like the 4th time since I first listened to it a year and a half ago. I don't know what it is. I'm not in the headspace for new content at the moment when it comes to books, and I'm kind of okay with that, but it just means that this project is a bit pointless. I'm not really keen on stitching the same like 3 series of books that I'm just listening to on repeat. So I'm tempted to just frog it, to be honest. Although I don't think it's that many stitches, so maybe I just crack on and stitch the whole thing as per the design and just have it as a finish, and just what I'm UFOing, I guess, is the plan of stitching the books that I'm actually reading. So TBC, but potentially that one's getting It's either going to get finished or it's going to get UFO'd. I need to have a look at how many stitches it is and how long I think it would take me to make that decision. But also, it's quite hard to see on the fabric. Like, the fabric kind of overwhelms the pattern thread colours a little bit. Right, 2 to go. Sorry, it's gonna be a long one today. Next up, we have Selkie. So this is a Catanian Creations project, and it's on this beautiful fabric from Luella's hand dyed fabrics. And I'm doing it 1/1. It's a 32 count, I believe, and I just don't reach for it. I think it's linen. I'm pretty sure it's linen. I'm fairly yeah. Linen. I think what I've learned between the Christmas crackers and perhaps this piece is I just don't love linen. I find it hard enough stitching on higher counts 1/1 because you get the thread slipping in between strands of the fabric. But this I just literally never reach for it. I had intended this to be a bit of a, so a la Hathaway Stitches? Is it Hathaway Stitches? I can't remember whether it's Erin or Amity, but one of them was doing a teal sampler where she was trying out lots of different teal threads, and I started this in Mediterranean Sea, and I've used Bejeweled on a different project, and I kind of just was like, I'm just going to do that. Let's just pick a whole bunch of different brands of teal thread and see where we get to. But I don't know. That's all we got, and I started it probably a year ago. So I think what I might do is just finish the lighthouse and make this a really teeny tiny small. I might see if I can get one of those plastic coasters where you can put your stitching inside, and see if I can make a little square of it, maybe do a little bit down this side. But I feel like it's just going to stick around forever if I try and keep it and do the whole thing. So we might just make a mini out of that and finish it that way. I don't want to just UFO it and unpick it, and I don't want to waste the fabric. So I think this one's getting finished as a mini. So that's perhaps not a UFO, but it is a, we're no longer planning to stitch the whole thing. So we're getting there. And then lastly, this is another, the fabric just wasn't quite right. So this is my neon project that Lizzie from This Mrs. Fisher Stitches and I planned to do together. We picked the thread palette together, and then we're going to pick our own patterns. I believe she's now finished hers. Get a hold of all of them. So we've got the 1DMC in there as well. So this is my thread palette, and I am obsessed with it. Let me hold it up against the black there. They're so pretty. I love them. I just hate how they're coming out on this. So this is, I think, an 18 count.
So unfortunately our neighbour's dog barked through this whole section and I was clearly oblivious. Basically I didn't love stitching this with 2 strands. I am unsure whether to get hold of some black 20 count and try it 1 strand, or try it on a different colour of 20 count and see if that works. But ultimately the 2 strands is not working, so I need to figure out a way to make this work as a 1 strand project instead.
Again, I think I started this at New Year's, and I love the colours and I really want to stitch them, and I just don't want to stitch them on this. So, new plan. I don't know what the new plan is exactly, but we need a new plan. Let me know what you think. Should I just try and find a smaller count that I can do it with 1 strand and just have it be really teeny tiny? Or do you think a different colour as well? We shall see. But I'm so obsessed with these. They're so pretty. Yeah, I'm sad that this is sat there and not gone anywhere. So we've got to do something about it. And for now, what I'm doing about it is UFOing it, so it's not on my whip list, and the pattern will just go back onto my stash list, and we can figure something out about it in the future. On the home stretch, I promise. This has turned out to be longer than I expected. So, plans. We've got about a week left of July, but I have run out of Jolly July themed projects. So what I think I'm going to lean into doing instead is revisiting some Flosstube Frenzy. I haven't done tons lately. We've caught up, for example, we caught up on this. I have done 600 stitches on Beyond the Horizon, which is linked to Emma from Emma X Stitching. I think I have 1,200 stitches that I owed, so I'm halfway there on that. I need probably one more colour to add above and beyond Whip Go. So that's one. We've got a couple of other Flosstube Frenzy projects that have sort of languished a little bit, that need a little bit of love. But I'm also tempted to just start on my August plans a week early, because August is going to be Abandoned Sal August. So this was started, I believe, last year. I want to say it was Jason X Stitches. If I've got that wrong, if I've got it right or wrong, I'll put the correct one up in the corner. But this was a sale last year for his birthday, and I really enjoyed it, and it was a nice chance to get back out some projects that I've been neglecting a little bit. So the ones that I have that are whips, we have Greenhouse of Oddities. So this one, obviously it was originally released as a sale, but I didn't start it then. But Emma and Joe from Belushi Stitches started this last year. They did it through January through to December, and I think did like one installment each month. I think I stitched some of it last year, but I didn't do it in the chunks that they were doing. I didn't keep up, it didn't get finished. So that one is on my radar this year, that I am determined to get it done. So that one's hopefully going to get a lot of love. I'm also going to work on my Twisted Band sampler. So this is another Flosstube Frenzy piece. That one is assigned to Rachel from Talking Dog Stitchery, and she has uploaded recently, so definitely go watch her video. But that means I need to get my Twisted Band sampler out. I also did originally start this as part of, I think it was Stitch the Rainbow. So, and that might have been 2023. Just 3 years old, and I think I'm only around the 20-25% mark. So I really want to just get some good work into that and make some progress, especially now I've started the second one as well. We also have Freya. So Freya Fridays we started last November. I've not really touched Freya in the last couple of months, but she is again a Flosstube Frenzy project assigned to Kat from Kat and Lily, and Kat is very prolific with her videos, so I owe that one a lot of stitches. But it'll be a good chance to catch up doing it for Abandoned Sal August and for Flosstube Frenzy. Hopefully the double whammy of motivation will help me get some momentum going. And then the last one that I have as an Abandoned Sal August project is B. So this is my Gecko Rouge. It's a Lorna Lane, so lots of people are stitching this. I'm sure there's a good chance you've seen it before. Again, it's a Flosstube Frenzy project. All my big ones are. This one is assigned to Rosie from Rosie X Stitches. I was very lucky actually, on my way back from my work trip yesterday I was able to pop in and see Rosie, which was amazing because I've not seen her in what feels like forever. I think it's been about 18 months, which is crazy. So it was absolutely lovely to see her, and we were talking about B, and I'm really keen to get it back out and catch up because she's now come back to Flosstube again. Go watch Rosie. I love all of her projects, they're great. So that's coming out for August, and as a bonus it is also going to be for a new Sal. So the lovely Lauren from Curly Q Stitches has her birthday in August, and she has announced the Just Winging It Sal, so stitching on anything that has wings, so any winged bugs, butterflies, bees, birds, anything with wings to stitch on. And obviously the key feature of B is a D. So I might use this as a bit of a go stitch on the distinct object, because this is another one, much like Beyond the Horizon, I've stitched the bee before. I did it as a standalone piece for a friend, and I found that really enjoyable. Like I could outline a wing and then gradually fill it in with a small, semi-small pool of colours, and the same for the bee itself. So, but the background is very just, it does have sort of like hexagon shapes, but they're not like contained, and the colours all sort of still go from across all of the hexagons. So yeah, I might go down and start outlining the bee and give myself a nice little dopamine hit of finishing a distinct area. But yeah, happy birthday for next month, Lauren, and thank you for organising such a lovely set out. I think it's such a cute theme to pick. I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone else chooses to stitch for it. So that is like the stitching plan. So I've got essentially four sal projects that I want to give some love, and then I'll try and keep up with the other Flosstuber Frenzy and WebGo ones as well. Last thing, I think I've already mentioned it, but August is my 2-year anniversary on Flosstube, so we will also be doing a whip parade. I'm aiming for that to be sort of roughly mid-month. I think my first Flosstube was on like the 16th or 17th, somewhere around there. So yeah, fingers crossed that will be out mid-month for you all to enjoy. And I think that's it. Like I said, enter the giveaways, let me know what you think about my UFOs, and in the meantime, happy stitching. Alfie, you want to come say goodbye? Come on. Good boy. You say goodbye. Bye. See you next time, everyone. Bye.